p.m., but for some it may be 7:02. Today is April 8th, 2018. We are about to start our regularly scheduled council meeting in the city of North Miami, city on the move. Mr. Clerk will begin with roll call.
Mayor Joseph.
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Keys.
Here.
Councilman Desiree.
Here.
Councilman Bieneme. Mayor, we have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. We'll proceed with second line item with Pledge of Allegiance. Officer Emmanuel Mori will be leading us.
Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If you would still remain standing while Pastor Enoch Million lead us in invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we came to you tonight to give you thanks for so many things you have done for us. As we gather together this evening for this meeting in our city of North Miami, we ask you, Lord, for peace. We need peace in our hearts because, as you said, a house divided cannot have peace. Tonight we want peace, each and every one of us. We lift to you, Lord, the council members. We know their hearts. We know what they need. We know what they're looking for. At this time, Lord, we ask you, Lord, to empower our mayor to govern that city, Dr. Smith Joseph. Bless each and every one of us. And God, we pray. God, people said, Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor. At this time, we'll entertain any additions, deletions, amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The second quarter neighborhood beautification awards presentation that is under special presentations, we're pulling that item tonight.
What letter is that?
That's just under presentations.
Oh, presentations. Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
sir. And we're also going to pull tab H. Tab H was the interlocal agreement with the city of North Miami and Biscayne Park for potable water. There's no representative from Biscayne Park here this evening, so we not be moving forward with that item.
Mayor, I spoke to the attorney for Biscayne Park. He asked that it be moved for sometime in June,
Okay.
and he'll get back to us on which meeting.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So at this point of time, we should consider the agenda set, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, Mayor, the agenda set. You may proceed.
May proceed. So which special presentation is omitted again?
The last one, sir.
The last one is
Yes,
omitted.
sir.
So we don't have to go down. So we'll ask State Representative Roy Hardeman, District
We
108.
got one down. You want to do that first, Mr. Mayor?
Who?
I think we got one go down.
We still have two presentations, sir. We have the presentation for the foster parents as well as the employee of the quarter.
That's what I thought I
You
saw,
wanna
but.
do those first before we do
Yeah.
Mr. Hardeman?
All right. Good evening again. The special presentation is a certificate of recognition in honor of Foster Parent Month. And who's going to receive it? Or is it a group? Well, the person who's supposed to receive it is not here, so what do we do? Which one is it? For the first one? She'll be receiving all of them? Okay, so we can do either. Okay, so we're not doing it? It's okay, they're not here yet. The employee of the quarter, well, at this point of time, we would ask personnel to come forward and who's going to do it, huh? Okay. So, but who would usually present it? Okay.
I was waiting for you. Good evening, everyone. Whistler Pierre Lewis, Public Works Director, City of North Miami. And today I have the privilege of recognizing Mr. Robbie Kirkland. He is, I want to say he's the future of the Public Works Department. This past weekend, actually, I spoke to a group of young people for the Leaders in Training. And it just crossed my mind that Robbie Kirkland, I can say the same as him, that he is the future. He is a leader in training. He is very hardworking. And we know that as far as Public Works goes, a lot of times that you see or interact with Public Works is when there is a problem. And Mr. Kirkland is always willing to do whatever it takes to address the problem, whether it is revising his schedule, working night shifts. He's available frequently when called to come and do overtime. And he's just a rising star, and I know he has a bright future ahead of him. We are very grateful to have him working with us. He's been with the city for 5 years. And within those 5 years, he has received 3 promotions, I want to say, within his 5 years of being with the city. So again, we're grateful to have him. And Mr. Hassan Vahid, the utility superintendent, would also like to share a few words regarding Mr. Kirkland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted tonight to be here to announce Kirkland Lobby according to our director mentioned it. And we have between 40 to 45 employees working with us. And the room was small to bring all of them here. Every one of them was employee of the quarter. And my director, he didn't allow me to bring all of them. And also, I work for City of North Miami 26 years. I'm very happy to be here, and always my job to dedicate myself to resident. And I would like to say, thank you, God. God bless America. I love you.
Hello, everyone. Once again, I want to say thank you to everyone up here, including my department, Water and Sewer, especially Unit 17. Thank you. As you know, what more could I say? I'm new to this. I wish I could split the award with the rest of the guys, but I'm the first one, so hey, it's mine. Thank you.
Okay, so at this time we'll ask Honorable State Representative Hardeman to please come forth and for a presentation. Is it a legislative update from the state now?
It's something other than legislative.
Why you put him like that? Why?
Huh? That's good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here actually because, you know, being a new legislator, what they call the freshman. Okay. What they call the freshman. I've been banging on the doors for North Miami for 1.5 year trying to bring resources to North Miami. You know, when the hurricane went down, the governor and everyone said we didn't need anything. But I brought some ice, and I made sure that North Miami got them a couple of truckloads of ice and stuff for the residents. But the most challenging thing was to bring the dollars home. And I just wanted to present this commission with a check of, Madam? $496,000 and 50, what is this? Yeah, 50 cents, okay? It's what you say, let my work speak for me. I'm not up there trying to blow hot air. I'm trying to bring the bacon home for our communities and our cities can grow. And I think I would love to give this to all of you all if you had 2 seconds to come back down here.
Oh, yeah.
Where's Mr. Kasume? We got, they,
How soon can I spend it?
you can spend it whenever you finish the paperwork. My job done. I got it. All right. I'm on my way back to Tallahassee in November, and we're gonna double it. Yeah. For the North, what is it? Arch Creek.
Yeah, the Orange Creek.
That's yours. All right. Now I gotta go.
Thank you, don't go.
All right.
Good work.
The next one is a certificate of recognition of we did second quarter neighborhood beautification award. Second quarter neighborhood beautification. We canceled that one. So we pretty much done?
We're gonna do the, city events. You're done with your presentation.
Okay. City events with Miss Timothy.
Good evening, Mayor, Council staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. I am Cassandra Timothy, Public Information Officer, and it is my pleasure to share some of our city's upcoming events and program. Practice your English skills in a friendly, relaxed atmosphere through guided, casual conversation over a cup of coffee or tea at the next English Cafe session at the North Miami Public Library. The classes are led by a qualified volunteer instructor and takes place every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The next Get in Gear Community Bike Ride Wellness Initiative is set for Saturday, May 12th, with registration at 8 a.m. The 10-mile group bike ride starts and ends at the Mocha Plaza. This month's bike ride includes rest and water breaks at Sergio Cuban Cafe and Grill and KC Healthy Cooking. The event takes place on the second Saturday of each month. Miami-Dade County Office of Resilience invites you to attend a community workshop to discuss sea level rise and flood resiliency in Arch Creek. Join the conversation and provide input and creative solutions to address sea level rise and flood resiliency in parts of North Miami and surrounding communities on Thursday, March 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library. Friday, May 18th is Haitian Flag Day. This year, the city of North Miami will host the annual Haitian Flag Day Festival in collaboration with Tropical Nights of North Miami concert series at 6 p.m. in the Mocha Plaza. The event will be hosted by Success Jr. and Plus Daddy and will feature local Haitian food vendors, musical performances, and a live entertainment by Harmonique. The community is also invited to a screening and discussion of Tariq Nasheed's documentary film 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti, on Thursday, May 24th in the Mocha Plaza. The film details key events and figures of the Haitian Revolution. Traditional Haitian food and drinks will be served. North Miami Mayor Dr. Smith Joseph will host a Haitian-style Jubilee on Friday, May 25th at 6 p.m. in the Mocha Plaza. This event will honor Emmanuel Mano Charlemagne, Haitian folk singer and political activist.
I'm sorry, Ms. Timothy, if I may, because I don't want it to go long. This may be adjourned to another date.
All righty.
Sorry about that.
No, good to know. We'll cancel that on the city calendar.
Yeah.
Following the Jubilee celebration, which is now canceled, vocalist La Vie will honor Haitian Heritage Month with a live performance at the May edition of Jazz at Mocha concert series on Friday, May 25th in the Mocha Plaza, beginning at 8 p.m. Jazz at Mocha takes place on the last Friday of each month in the Mocha Plaza. At 7 p.m. on Thursday, May 31st, at the Joe Celesting Center, the North Miami City Council will induct Father Reginald Jean Marie of Notre Dame de Haiti into the North Miami Citizens Hall of Fame. Father Jean Marie was nominated by North Miami Councilman Philippe Bien-Aimé. The CRA will also host a business workshop on Thursday, May 17th at 6:30 p.m. in the Griffin Community Center. Although it's full, please stay tuned. More announcements regarding further dates will be announced. Stay up to date with the latest happening in our city by first visiting www.northmiamifl.gov, then clicking the Connect with NOMI icon on the homepage, where you can sign up to receive our free monthly newsletter and tune in to our free governmental programming, NOMI TV, available 24 hours a day through the city's website. You may also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download the My NOMI mobile app. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timothy. At this time, we'll need a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Keys to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passed with a 4-0 vote. Tab G. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, appointing members to the Downtown Action Plan Advisory Committee in accordance with Chapter 29, Article 2, Division 4 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Good evening. Tanya Wilson Sejour with the Community Planning and Development Department. If IT could upload the presentation on the television, I'll go ahead and start the presentation. The request before you is a resolution requesting that the council appoint members to the Downtown Action Plan Advisory Committee. The council may recall back in 2013 and also in 2014, they adopted two master plans at the time. One was the Downtown Development and Major Corridors Master Plan. The other was a Downtown Concept Plan. Both plans spoke to the redevelopment vision for North Miami's downtown area. It outlined specific capital improvements that were envisioned in the downtown area, 8 to be specific. And at that time, the council established a board. These would serve as ambassadors for championing the revitalization of North Miami's downtown. And they were called the Downtown Action Plan Advisory Committee. So the focus of the committee, when it was established, it had 11 to 15 members. The quorum was 2/3 majority. The members would serve for 2-year terms, and the appointments could be made by anyone on the council, so it wasn't specific to individual districts. At the time when the board was created, the specific concentration was to have folks from the artistic community, folks from education, understanding that we had 2 universities here in the city of North Miami, both FIU and Johnson & Wales. There were also representatives from the film industry as well as business owners that had property within the downtown district itself. So the board has been active over the last 4 years. They continue to meet. The specific projects that they've worked on or gotten involved in. They actually issued an annual report back in 16-17. They're working on their next annual report for 17-18. They've been instrumental on working on a vision to revive North Miami's downtown farmers market. You remember that we had an active farmers market for several years. They're looking to bring that back into fruition. Earlier this evening, I know the CRA, when they met, they looked at activating the Pocket Park in the downtown area. Your day park was actually actively involved in that from the design stage, the community meetings. They stayed involved in that conversation because, again, the council appointed them as champions of the downtown so that the vision to revitalize the downtown wouldn't die. You had folks from, as I mentioned before, different disciplines that came with expertise. We have architects on the board itself, we have engineers, we have folks that are property owners with a vested interest, we have residents that are on the board. And we also have Iron Manners Fountain. They were instrumental in the designation, the historic designation of that fountain. Interesting history there. When the downtown plan was conceived, one of the things that we looked at were actual public art, places for public art, historic relics that were there. And we did find that the Iron Manners Fountain is almost 100 years old, so it predates incorporation of North Miami. Your DAPAC was instrumental in pushing for a designation and get involved in the community meetings and meeting with the Miami-Dade County Historic Preservation Office. So in terms of the meetings, we have several positions on the DAPAC that are currently vacant. Folks, the positions that have already expired, we have new members that are interested in joining the DAPAC. We know we have applications that have been brought before you this evening. It's a part of your packet. And we actually have the chair and the vice chair of the DAPAC that are actually here tonight that wish to speak to the board as a part of this item. In your packet, and we have it on the screen for the folks at home so they could see it, there are about 7 names that have been recommended. Some are new members, some are existing members. You'll see there on the screen that we have 4 existing members and 3 new members that are being proposed for consideration before City Council tonight. So I'll give the chair and the vice chair an opportunity to come forward if they just want to say a few words. I don't know if everyone in the audience is familiar with who is actually chairing these meetings, so I'll give Jason James an opportunity to speak to the North Miami public so they can see the face of the champions that are actually advocating for the downtown revival of your downtown. Mr. James.
Good evening. My name is Jason James. It's been quite an experience being on this board. I wasn't always chair, but I was elected to be it, and I've taken on the challenge the last couple years, and it's been a very, very good learning experience. Most recently, you know, we've had a lot of changing faces on the board, lots of new energy, new excitement. We have 2 projects in the work right now, with a third, I think, in the pipeline, with this farmers market coming back. You know, what I've tasked, you know, as a chair, what I've tasked some of the other members on the board is to identify any type of, I guess, pet projects that they may have or some type of ideas that they, based on their experience, you know, because we have, you know, people who are artists and business owners and all that. I've asked them to just, you know, bring forth projects in the forthcoming future so that we can start tackling, you know, more and more things as a board. So I know Councilwoman Keys, she's been in a couple of our meetings. Again, we're excited to see the progress that we've made over the last couple years. We really hope that you support the appointment of all the applications, and we look forward to working with you even more closely as the time goes on, because we are ready to get started on more projects now that these other ones are set up. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the mayor, this item is here, and as Tanya did state, several of the members are members that were already on the committee whose terms have expired. There's still approximately 7 spaces available, and we'll take you guys, we don't have to do it tonight, but we will take recommendations from you to replace those 7 members on the board if the council would choose later to add additional members to the board. So I don't want you to think that the board was filled on our own. It will be coming back. Like we said, some of the members were already were appointed previously, and we will be bringing it back to you when you have your appointment. But we're going to be doing all of our appointments on the board through resolution moving forward, just so we could keep track and have dates when people were appointed. So I just wanted to add that to the record as we move forward. Thank you.
There was the same question. There was a question of quorum. I understand that the board is composed of about 15 members.
Yeah, 11 to 15.
11 to 15 members.
So you need 7 to operate.
7. You need 7 to
achieve at least 7.
Okay, at least 7. So I don't know. I mean, have we had any problem reaching a quorum with 7 being the required number? I don't know.
We do now, because of the level of vacancies that you have. The names that you see on the screen are individuals who've actually filed the application indicating their interest in being members of the board, and some of the other names that you see expired are folks that have been active over the last 4 years, but their terms have now expired.
All right. Shall we open it to the public? The public is now invited to please come forth and share your ideas, concerns, or anything about the day pack. I see one here none, so public hearing is now closed. We come here to the dais for further.
Go ahead, Council.
No, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, through you, when I met with management regarding this item, I told them I had my only reservation with the item is the way it was brought up to us. I don't feel comfortable voting for folks that I typically haven't met or are telling me that these are the people that I need to vote for. So I will I will not be voting for it, but it's not against the board. I don't have any problem with the particular board. I think I may know one or two people on the board. So I would feel comfortable if the nominees that they are asking me to nominate, I know who they are, I talk to them, et cetera. That's just something that I have a policy. But just to clarify something, Mr. Clerk, so you will not be doing appointments anymore, so that's going to your office?
That will be the responsibility of the manager and the attorney's office. When you guys do appoint, we will be keeping a record moving forward of who's been appointed on the boards. Yes, sir.
And just to be clear, it was never the clerk's responsibility to administer the boards.
Who responsibility was it? Because I know when I was the clerk. No, well, I don't know when that happened because prior to that, when I was the clerk in 2009, prior to that, I know the clerk office was always responsible. So when did that change? I just want some clarification on that.
When Stephen Johnson was our manager, we reviewed the ordinances and the resolutions. Nothing gave the city clerk's office authority to administer the board. And so pursuant to our ordinance and our resolution, the city manager had the authorization to administer the board because we never got any directive from council via a resolution and or ordinance to administer the board. So if we were doing it, it was done unlawfully. But when Stephen Johnson was our city manager, we clarified it and it was taken care of.
And what year was that?
I want to say probably
So
probably 2012, give or take.
Okay, so that's after my term because every city in America, the clerk's office is responsible. So you guys are busy, and I want to get this correct on the record. And I don't know if that is something that your office and we need to talk to the manager want to take on, because the clerk office, they're the custodial of records. So if they're not responsible, if we need to do it through legislation, then that's something that I think management should brought up to us to review. I don't feel too comfortable with the manager's office with the many things going on to take over that if it's going to be done properly. If the clerk needs somebody else, then to manage that, maybe somebody from your office could help them. But I think that every city in Miami-Dade County, the clerk does that. Except unless you guys have some other issues. But that's something that I think we need to work on moving forward. Thank you.
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? No?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second. I have a motion made by Councilwoman Key, Vice Mayor Keys to approve tab G. The motion was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passed with a 3-1 vote. Tab I. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, co-designating a portion of Northwest 125th Street from Northwest 7th Avenue to Northwest 17th Avenue to be known as Joseph Emmanuel Charlemagne Way, authorizing the city manager to allocate and expend the required funds to cover the cost for signage and to do all things necessary to effectuate the co-designation, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. The reason I came up with this item is because all of the community really knew Mr. Charlemagne, who he was, for the type of person. He was an activist. This is a guy who advocated for human rights, against oppression, and I got to know him very closely. I get a little bit emotional when I talk about him because this is a guy who actually sacrificed a major portion of his life for humanity. He left Haiti he was exiled, a few times, and continued to fight, for the people of Haiti. And when he came to the U.S., he lived in different cities in the U.S. as well as Florida. He actually lived at one point of time right there, a couple of blocks south of here, in Biscayne Park. But prior to that, he lived on West Dixie Highway, on 134th Street, which happens to be my building on the second floor, 13377 West Dixie Highway. And this is a guy with a very, very good heart. And he passed away, from long-term suffering of cancer. And I would like to, for the members of the dais to support me on this item. I don't know if he used to play. He was actually. I just did a very bad job in describing the man. I mean, he was a much better man than what I just said. He played. He was a musician, of course. He played the roots music. That's what he was mostly known for. He played in a restaurant, in a very iconic restaurant named Tap Tap in Miami Beach. He was there for decades. And the owner of the restaurant actually made a request from the city of Miami Beach. And I think last week or maybe 10 days ago, they did a ceremony where they designated part of 5th Street in Miami Beach after him. So this is a least that I think North Miami could do for a former resident of North Miami who has been an iconic man in our community. And but I will, I can always come back to the dais. Before I open it for public hearing, I made a few changes, recommendations, and I sent them back to the city attorney's office, but I didn't see them. I think from what my assistant is telling me, the resolution, the whereases that are in the package are the original ones without the recommendations. Because one of the whereases that was noted was that Manu Charlemagne was known as the Haiti's Bob Marley. I don't think, knowing him, the person that I knew that he was, he wouldn't want to be named as a second after another person. He would want to be known as Emmanuel Charlemagne, not a second Bob Marley. Bob Marley is Bob Marley. He made his mark. And he was a Jamaican man. He was known internationally, but he was Jamaican, not Haitian. So I want this to be omitted this way, as where it says that he was known as the Haiti's Bob Marley. That was not known to me. And also the part where he actually resided in North Miami, and I forwarded that information. It's right here, that Mr. Manu Charlemagne was a resident of North Miami for years at 13377 West Dixie Highway. It's so going forward, I would like for this to be part of the resolution. That's it. Now we'll open it to the public. I guess we'll take a few people who would like to say a few good things about Mr. Manu Charlemagne, or whichever way you wanna speak.
Good evening, Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street. I live on 125th Street between 7th Avenue and 17th Avenue, and I object to my street being named after this person. It seemed to me more appropriate for the residence that he had on that street to be named after him. Thank you.
There's no one else?
Let me say something about
Your name and address
My
first.
name is Sever. I'm living at 740 Northwest 137th Street. And my zip code is 33168.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great.
So everybody knows Mano Chalmai as a Haitian artist, internationally recognized. Mano Chalmai came from the exile in 1986, where he really inspired the new generation at this moment for the change of Haiti. He has his messages from his songs with his guitar, where the young generation, the young folks, the young people will had the inspiration and fight for the change of Haiti. Unfortunately, in 1991, he has to come back to exile again here in the United States. In 1995, he went back to Haiti as a mayor in the capital of Haiti, Port-au-Prince. And then from there, that was a big deception because he thought that he would, with his thoughts, what is being done, he could really bring a change to Haiti, but it was never happened. And then he came back in here recent years, where he was performing at Tap Tap Restaurant in Miami Beach. So being suffered with the cancer, so he died in December, if I can remember. So Mano Chalmai is a great, great, great contributor to to the struggle of the Haitian people who fight for the country.
Thank you very much.
Name is Ernst Wobillard, 14267 Memorial Highway. Mano is not only a great man like everybody say. He's one of the greatest musicians in Haiti. He was a former mayor of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Really well known between the community, either rich or poor. Mano was an activist. He was one of the catalysts for the movement that toppled all the military regime in Haiti. And unfortunately, he died of cancer, something he has been suffering for quite a long time. And if you're asking many generations in Haiti, they will know who Mano Chalmai was. So this is a great opportunity to recognize someone who has a great influence upon the Haitian community here in South Florida, especially in North Miami. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now, I see someone standing. I guess it's still open. Are you coming to the mic, sir?
Jesus Christ.
Did you want to say something? Did you want to speak?
Go to a microphone
Huh?
like everyone else.
Yeah, go to the microphone. No. Oh, okay. Public hearing is now closed. Thank you very much. We'll come to the dais for any discussions or concerns.
I'll make a comment.
Go ahead.
I'm not really in favor. I'm sure Mr. Charlemagne is a wonderful person, but I think you're asking to name a main street through the city of North Miami, a large portion, and I like to reserve any street naming to people that are known by our residents, so when we drive through the streets, we will know who we are honoring. I think that this person really has not done anything for our city as a whole, and just really can't support that. I mean, I have never heard of this person, and I'm sure a lot of people, many people are, but to name our streets after people. There's a lot of good people out there. You know, I just don't like starting to name our streets after people that really haven't done something and made an effect on our city. That also being said, I know that the city of Miami Beach just named the street outside of Tap Tap for this gentleman, and I think that should be adequate. We shouldn't have two streets. So I really can't support this. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I'm proud to join you in supporting this measure this evening. Though I recognize what the point the councilwoman has made, Northeast 135th Street between Biscayne Boulevard and Northwest 7th Avenue carries the name of Arch Creek East Boulevard, Natural Bridge Road, Cap-Lemoire Boulevard, Maurice Rosen Boulevard, Roy Henry Christophe Boulevard, and Victor Curry Boulevard. Obviously, that might be too many names for something that we just call Northeast 135th Street, but it's the sentiment that's conveyed. Certainly, I'll join you in voting in favor this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. My only concern with that is the main road, because I did receive some calls from some of my residents who asked me about it. I didn't know much about the resolution. I think the manager gave me a call since it's in my district on Thursday, and I started receiving calls on Friday. My only concern and my friendly amendment to it, Mr. Mayor, is I don't mind supporting something, but not a main road. So I know you mentioned West Dixie, where he lived. So perhaps maybe 133rd or 134th between West Dixie and 10th. Or if you want to do it in my district, that's fine. But if we could do a smaller road, besides from Miss Alston, I received some other folks on 125th Street, Haitian and non-Haitian, who were calling, who said that they needed someone who at least they respect the fact, but they needed someone within the North Miami roots. But I would support something if you want to do it in my district. Another street is fine with me, but I would kindly propose if it could be somewhere around West Dixie where he actually lived. Perhaps the folks there could be, 133rd between the clinic and 10th or 11th or something like that. That I don't have, or even West Dixie, part of West Dixie. I don't know if that's in your district, Madam Keys, which she's not supporting. Councilman Benjamin not here. So those are my only two recommendation.
Well, I don't have a district in the city. I'm the mayor. I represent everybody from District 1, 2, 3, or 4. 125th Street has a very large Haitian population. And I'm sure if you walk from 125th, 7th Avenue to 17th Avenue, every single Haitian you ask, they will tell you that they know who Manu Charlemagne was and they would not have any objection to this. This item was actually going to be on the last meeting. It wasn't that, Mr. Attorney? It
Yes,
was close
it was
to
on the
being
agenda.
published
It was
in the
pulled.
last meeting.
No, it was on the-
For someone to say that, to say that they didn't know about this item.
No, it was
at
not.
this
It was
point
not
of
my
time,
district,
that
Mr.
is
Mayor.
not-
On the last agenda, it was not my district.
No, but it wasn't published. It wasn't published.
No,
But
it
it is not
wasn't.
my job to go to you and tell, because
Well, I'm
of
not saying it
Sunshine,
was.
I cannot talk to you about items that we bring into the dais.
I
My
never said
job
that.
is to sit with administration and then tell them what I would like, and then they go around and inform the entire council, and then they publish it in newspapers. They follow the protocol, to make sure that people know. That's why some of the people may be here to support this item. So I know that if, like I said, maybe I'm not doing a good job presenting who Mr. Joseph Charlemagne was. He was in South Florida most of his life. And when I voted, then just the vice mayor said that she never heard of this man. When I voted for Mr. Tate, I never knew Mr. Tate. But I know his son. I've heard of him.
And they've owned a building
I've heard of them from other people. No, but I didn't know him. But the fact that he was brought to me, that he's a man who's done so much who's been very present in the city of North Miami, and his son, Jimmy, who happens to be a friend, is also a good person who follows after his dad, and that's why Mr. Manu Charlemagne, a former mayor, a guy who stands for people's right, if I don't take the initiative of naming a black or 2 or 3 or 4 blacks after a man like Joseph Manu Charlemagne, then I don't know who else that I would choose. And by the way, he passed away. I'm not asking for somebody who's alive. This is someone who passed away, and I would like, in a population of 60,000, where almost 30% of it is Haitian, this is a Haitian who has made his mark, not just in the Haitian community, but on international ground. That's all I have to say. We'll go for a vote, Mr.
Do I have a motion
Well,
to, I'm sorry, do I have a motion to approve tab I?
So moved.
I'll second it.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve tab I. The motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
Okay.
Item fails with a 2-2 vote. Tab J, proposed ordinance, first reading of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, amending chapter 11, licenses and business regulations of the city of North Miami Code Ordinances, Miami Code Ordinances by establishing Article 7 entitled Shopping Carts, creating regulations related to shopping carts, providing for definitions, providing for posting of notice of penalties for removal of shopping carts, requiring identification of shopping carts, providing for a procedure for handling identifiable and unidentifiable shopping carts found on public property, providing for regulations related to shopping carts on private property, providing for a general schedule of violations and civil penalties, amending the schedule of violations and civil penalties section of the code to include penalties for violation of these sections, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing a severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As you recall, a couple weeks ago, we announced the formation of the Clean City Task Force, and during that presentation, we talked about shopping carts and the visual pollution they cause, and the safety concerns of abandoned shopping carts throughout the city. At the time, I mentioned that we would be bringing back an ordinance regulating shopping carts. As I mentioned then, there's been no regulation of shopping carts in the city. It doesn't exist in our ordinances. We had I believe there was administrative regulation back in the late 1990s that covered shopping carts, but we right now don't have anything in our books for shopping carts. Right now, someone takes a shopping cart, leaves it on a corner. The city goes around, picks them up, and they get returned to the retail business. We're supposed to charge $10. I'm not sure if that always happens. I know the last time we checked, if you remember that slide that I showed you, there were 60 of them parked at Public Works. We actually got the retailer was asking for a discount on those, even at $10. We looked around the state and South Florida. Most municipalities are at the $25 range. So this ordinance proposes several things. One, it changes the fine from $10 to $25 per cart. It requires all owners of the shopping carts to affix an identification on the signs. It's in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Creole. This ordinance goes in effect in October 1st, 2018, so it gives them some time to take care of whatever they have to. But one of the requirements is they come to the city with a plan on how they're going to manage their shopping carts. We give them several options, including the electronic, the wheel stops, putting barriers. But one of the requirements, so they have several options on how they manage their shopping carts, but they will all be required to twice a week collect their shopping carts and show us a plan on how they're collecting those shopping carts. And basically, failure to do any of these things or failure to abide by this ordinance carries a $250 fine. We think that'll give them some incentive to take care of the shopping cart problems that we have in the city. So we hope that you'll support this ordinance.
All right, public hearing is now open on the item. That's item J, right? J as in Jack?
Yes, sir.
Item J is now open for public hearing.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I love this this legislation. I think that we do our hardest to keep our neighborhoods looking good, and then somehow you randomly get these junky shopping carts, and there's not really a whole lot as a resident you can do to get them out of your neighborhood, and they'll just sit there for weeks sometimes. And at least this legislation might incentivize putting those stoppers on them to keep them in the parking lots and out of our residential neighborhoods. Thank you for bringing this. I really hope it passes.
Public hearing is still open on the item. I see no one coming to the mic.
I'll move approval, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve tab J. The motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. As this is an ordinance, I would have to conduct a roll call vote. Mayor Joseph, how do you vote?
Yay.
Councilman Galvin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Keys?
Yes.
Councilman Desmay?
Yes.
Item passes with a 4-0 vote. All right, that concludes our agenda.
Okay. I guess we go to, where do we go to? Reports now? No, Citizen Forum. Citizen Forum is now open for anyone who wants to be heard on anything. Duke.
Hi, Tanjim Hossein, 900 Northeast 129th Street. I was at the TOD, or Transit Oriented Development meeting, just a few short weeks ago. And I just wanted to bring some things to your attention that I noticed at the meeting. So specifically, comments were made by the third-party consultants at that time, talking about who the city, and I've heard this reflected, from yourselves as well, City on the Move, right, Mayor? So they mentioned things like, in the future, as part of this development, the people that they want to move to the city of North Miami are young urban professionals. I'm 26. They want them to be homeowners. Hi, 900 Northeast 129th again. Married, no kids. Me. Educated, decent jobs. Hi. So, I was hearing all these things, and I'm going, yeah, this is great. They want me in the city. And then I thought about all the times that I've gotten up here and spoken, and I don't really feel like I was listened to a few times. Planning Commission, going back to December, you remember the development at Northeast 130th Street. Planning Commission, most of the people didn't really listen to us. And again, me, I'm the one you want, right? Went forward with you guys, and again, thank you, Vice Mayor Keith, Scott Galvin, for voting with us, the residents who spoke against that development. But at the time, Mayor Joseph, Mr. Deselman, and Biename is not here, but many of you were on your phones or talking to each other, not really listening to us. So, I felt a little disenchanted by that. The fact that apparently you do want me in the city, and I'm happy to be here. I love it here, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm kind of seeing the other end of things where, maybe you don't want me because you're not really listening to me or my neighbors. Having said that, it was really interesting to finally have my voice heard just a little while ago at the bond vote. I feel like you did hear me and my neighbors, and I really hope that going forward you continue to reach out to us as some of you have done. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening. My name is John Della Gloria. My offices are at 1065 Northeast 125th Street. I believe you are all familiar with the potential development on West Dixie Highway and 131st Street. That is the transaction regarding the chamber and the city and Mr. Eli Rand, my client. You'll also recognize that a couple of weeks ago, this item was brought to the council regarding whether the council wants to approve the transaction or not, and Mr. Galvin had some comments about the city not being exactly familiar with the amount of money that may have to be spent by the city. I don't know if you remember that. The reason I'm here, and it's not a good reason, is the following. This project has been on the drawing board for about 18 months. And we have had nothing but trouble trying to get the city to give us some answers about the specific feature of the parking garage issue. The city has, in my opinion, studiously avoided dealing with us on this issue. And I know that and your city attorney quite rightly sent this to outside counsel to determine the P3, the public-private partnership aspect of this. When I met with outside counsel, the first question she asked me was, how many parking spaces does the city need? Now, think about that for a minute. She's asking me how many parking spaces the city needs. Actually, she should be telling me how many parking spaces the city needs. I then said that, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
Well, what's the proper forum for? I mean, that's the guidance.
John knows how to get a hold of me, Mayor.
Huh?
He comes to my office all the time. We sit down, we talk about it. He knows we're trying to push the project.
Jeff
I
has
can
been
talk to him
terrific.
afterwards, so
Jeff has been absolutely terrific.
Yeah, because this is public forum, and we allocate 2 minutes for each person. If I give you more, then I have to do same. I mean, you're a former city attorney here, so.
I understand.
So-
I would just ask this council to direct the administration to tell us whether they want to do this or not, because, as I say, this has been going on for months. We
Okay.
have not received phone calls. We have not allowed the administration has not
Okay.
had meetings, and this is, hold on, 1 second. Interest rates are going up. If we don't know soon, then this project's going away.
All right.
Hello, my name is Morgan Edward. I live at.
Lower the mic. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Morgan Edward, and I live 13800 Northeast 6th Avenue, apartment 6. These are my neighbor right here. Fortunately, the building that we stay at, they're gonna sell it, right? So we need time for us to find another place to stay. When we went to the apartment, they told us that if we don't sign the new lease, that what they asked us to pay, they're gonna evict us. So now we don't know what to do. So we need time to know that where we're gonna go find a place to stay.
138.
Yeah, 13800 Northeast 6th Avenue, apartment 6. These are the my
Neighbors.
tenants. And they give us the end of the month to move out.
This month?
Yes.
Who owns the building?
And if we don't do that, we have to end up signing the new lease. And the new lease, some people can afford to pay it.
My name is Stephanie, and I live in the same building, 13800 North East 6th Avenue. I live in apartment 5. What happened is they sold the apartment without telling us. It's a small apartment. It's like a condo, 2-story. They sold it without telling us, and we received a letter on the last date of April, which was April 30th, and we used to pay $1,050, and now they're asking us to pay $1,600. So they put $550 on it, and then we were willing to do month to month because we can't find any place. Everywhere me and my husband go, we can't find any place, and we have 2 little babies. And the owner told us, "Are you guys stupid? We don't do month to month. We only do year lease. So we have to sign the lease for a year for $1,600 for 2-bedroom." And then if we don't leave by May 15, they're going to evict all of us. So I'm very worried about that because
You say you have a lease?
we don't. They want us to sign a new lease. They put $550 on the money.
Okay. So
$550, and they only give us 15 days to sign that lease, or we're gonna get evicted. We think that's very, very, very unfair. And we have security deposit, and last month, they not allowed us to use it because they said that was with the previous owner. And when we called the previous owner said that once we leave, they're gonna come to do an inspection, and in 30 days, they're gonna mail us the money. So we have 15 days, and today is May 8th. We have until May 15.
So-
We're very worried about that. And we have a lot of older people, we have a lot of kids. So we think like this is our only hope to come here to see if you guys can give us an extension, maybe 2 months to find a place. Because everywhere we go, the waiting list is 3 months or 6 months. You know, it's crazy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, but the only thing I can say, I want you to know this is a quote-unquote private and a civil matter. So this is a privately owned apartment building, right?
Yeah.
So which means the city has no jurisdiction over that, and we don't have any jurisdiction over that. But I can tell you that we do have some e-housing programs where I know we have a few apartments, and I know there is a waiting list for them. I don't know. That CPND would have, along, we have the deputy city manager here.
Can we go to the legal service?
Yeah. You can schedule an appointment with the deputy city manager. No?
We will, there's a organization called Hope that may be able to assist them. I'll make sure that we do get the information to them so
Yes.
they can seek some help in moving forward and
Please.
whatever
Okay.
we maybe could do from our housing department.
Mr. Manager, do you know who owns the building, the new owner?
I'm not positive of who the new owner is, sir.
I'm looking, I don't see a sale.
You
I'm
don't see it?
looking
Who
up.
owns? No, but who's the owner? One more letter.
Because their office is on, I think, on 147.
Okay.
Okay, Citizens Forum is still ongoing
Good evening.
while we try to help.
Good evening. Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street. First of all, I want to say congratulations to all degree earners. I stand here this evening to thank you, North Miami voters. We won 2-1 in all 4 categories. There will be no 120 million bond loan in North Miami. Hallelujah. I want to give special thanks to Sunkist Grove, to San Souci, to Laura Hill, to Jen Garnett. I'm not apologizing if I'm not saying it correctly. To Grace English, to Judy Brown, to Robert Hosted, to Hector Medina, to Annie Montgomery, to Gwen West, to Claudia Palminzo, to the coalition, to Marcel Marcelinas. Thank you, thank you, thank you all.
Good evening. Judy Brown, 1100 Northwest 128 Terrace. I'm coming to the council and mayor because I'm very concerned about what I saw during early voting at the library. I'm a retired educator. And during the early voting, we got there in the afternoon and I went in and voted and I came out. And school had dismissed. It was chaos. I would like to commend Chief Juriga and his officers. There was an officer on duty in the parking lot, the security monitor at the library. He'd broken up a fight. She was there monitoring the crowd, watching everything. This is a very volatile situation. I know we're coming down to the near end of school. Someone needs to do something. It's 1,000 feet away from the high school, so it is still a part of Dade County School, purview. But it seems as though this problem has been dumped on the North Miami Police Department. I was there, and I stayed there. I saw them with all kind of restraint. They are to be commended. They threw things at the police officers. They held their grounds. They were just cool and calm. It was almost like a feeding frenzy. It was like putting a piranha in a fish tank when they said fight. I don't know what's going on, but I am very much concerned, and I'm a member of the board, and I'm a citizen. And we were there voting, and it was just chaos, and something needs to be done now.
My name Idane Saint-Giac. Because my English too short, I will speak in Creole.
Well, we have to get someone to translate for you.
Hold on one second. Moi, j'étais dans 132.
You want to translate for him? Oh, go ahead.
138 00 Nord-Est 6e Avenue.
All right. My name is Idanes Nginiak, and the address is 13800 Northeast 6th Avenue, apartment 20.
The same building.
24.
Oui, same building. Et j'ai un problème avec les gens qui sont parlé là. M'a fait une chambre badoum, une chambre à coucher. M'pat là m'de sorti, là m'vini une lettre ça. M'te enfermé pour 800.
I'm sorry, did the group go out with the chief? Were they, huh? Well, have them do the same thing. They get the chief. Même groupe ça que yo aidé, c'est même moun ça qui va l'aider tout, c'est pour aller ensemble avec eux.
Oh, OK, d'accord.
C'est pour aller jeune chief police là. Thank you. Menel by chief là non, will be. Next.
My name is once again Sever. I'm living at North Miami. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Councilman Galvin for supporting the mayor on his ordinance. And I want to refer Mr. Alex, either or the councilwomen, an article at on Miami Herald, a whole page, who wrote about Manu Shalmai. And my question is to Councilman Alex Desulme. I know you go to the community when you want to be elected. You ask the Haitian people to vote you as a Haitian. Why you do not support? I would like to know that. Why you do not support? Yes.
He's allowed to speak. He has 2 minutes. He can say whatever he wants. He just doesn't have to answer.
Why you didn't support the mayor ordinance, Mr. Alex? Councilman Alex.
Now remember, he doesn't have to answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Phyllis Semmelfort, 1110 Northwest 130th Street in Miami. I have been living there for the past 25 years. Last month, the mayor stopped by and told us they were going to beautify the neighborhood. We all were very happy. To the contrary, it's a total mess. The parking, it's a mess. The sidewalk, they make it too wide. Apparently, I think they probably was thinking of 131st Street, which is a wider street. Now, they make the sidewalk so wide. I understand the draining system, they had to redo it, but right now we're on a one-way street now. All the cars, we cannot go, there is no two-way street in the neighborhood anymore. Everybody's parked on the street. I know the mayor stopped by the other day. I was very grateful to see that the engineer, I don't know if he, I'm sorry if he fell off his head when he created the plan, but it's a total mess. When I spoke with him, because I'm not home during weekdays because I'm at work. Friday morning, I was off and I saw him. I said, were you the guy I'm supposed to choke? Excuse me, that was a joke. And he told me, no, it's the mayor. He told me, yes, it's the mayor because the mayor approved it. Anybody pass by 130th Street, anybody pass by 130th Street, it's chaotic. They leave all the, how they call them, clue? How they call them? Nails. All the nails on the street. People getting flat tire. It's a total mess. He told me they're gonna do it again, but when?
Mr. Pierre-Louis, stand up. Well, this is as you all know, this is a street that we approved I think last year. That's a over $600,000 project. So
That's just money waste.
so there was, I guess, the design.
No, but
I
mean,
went up there. I worked with you a couple of blocks, and yes, we did address the problem. I came back, and I spoke with the director as well as the manager, and supposedly, the team. Well, actually, yeah. Go ahead and finish it up.
But excuse me, let me say something.
Right.
This is my house.
Well, what do you want?
This is the we're supposed to put the parking. They put those bricks all over. They don't even
I thought
leave
they said
one
they're going to make some correction to that.
Yeah, money waste down the drain. They're gonna break it again to do it again. But if somebody had sense to look at it, you could see. I have visitors. People come to visit. There is no way to park at all. You park on the street. That doesn't make sense.
Mr. Mayor, we will revisit the item with Whistler and go and look at the street to determine what's going on.
Can we go there tomorrow?
We'll go tomorrow. We'll go tomorrow.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bob Bashan, 1305 Coronado Terrace. I actually came tonight because I was hoping to hear the city's commentary on what it learned last week. And the silence has been deafening. I went to almost every public meeting and town hall meeting, and resident after resident got up and said what was on their mind. And had the city listened to that, we'd be in a better place today. But they were largely ignored. The residents said, tell us what you need, not what you want. Tell us what you need. Tell us how much it costs, and we'll be able to support you. So 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars later, we've got nothing. The noise that was made last Tuesday was a big sound of fed up. I only got 2 minutes, so what I wanted to comment on, Judy talked about the early voting. If anybody takes a look at the numbers for the absentee ballots, I've spoken to Councilman Galvin and Vice Mayor Keys. The absentee ballots, somebody had their thumb on the scale of this election in a very large way. The percentage of, there are 9 voting districts in this city that the people that showed up at a poll, early voting or election day, 88% said no to all the bonds, and the bonds carried on the absentee ballot. That's not a statistical anomaly. That's somebody playing with the election. And had the election not been so broadly detested by the residents in the city, that may have influenced the outcome, but it didn't. So please, please, if you learned anything from last week, listen to the residents. Nobody elected you to think for us. They elected you to listen to us and do the will of the citizens. Please, think about that down the road.
William Previtel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. Moments ago, you had I guess a young family with 2 beautiful girls. We have an apartment building. They're not in our price range, and we do have pretty much full occupancy now. But if the city wishes, if we could try to find some way of accommodating them on a short-term basis, we would like to try to do that. Maybe between somebody else that's leaving and somebody else that's coming in, maybe we could fit them in or do something to accommodate them if the city cannot find proper housing for them in proper time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jean Marcellus, 13500 Northeast 3rd Court, number 212. And I want to say thank you to the residents of the city because they came out to vote for the bond. Listen, I don't think it's a fight between the council and the citizens in the city. I think it's a fight for just cause. It's a fight for the priority. I don't think right now, at this time, the bond was the priority for the citizens of the city. This is the reason the citizens came out and they voiced their opinion. And I hope the council listen, because we put you there to work on our behalf, to listen to us, and to know exactly what we want you to do for us. That's the only reason we put you there. Anyway, I say thank you for the coalitions because it was like a collective effort in order for the bond to not pass. Anyway, another thing that I have learned and is my concern is probably a question for the city manager. On February 14, 2012, I was here as a councilman. I was sitting there as a councilman, and I made a motion to hire Westport as a garbage pickup for the city. Not only I made the motions to hire Westport, but I also made the motions to piggyback the Miramar contract that they have. But after 6 years, the contract was, we used to pay the city, when we used to do it in-house, $52. It seems like I'm over. I'll be back next meeting to address this issue. Thank you.
Citizen forum is now closed. Thank you. Reports. I received a letter, Mr. Attorney. I don't know if I should forward this to you. Actually, it's from the property appraiser's office about forwarding information on a permits, a building permits and temporary certificate of occupancy. Because short of doing that, we may be losing some ad valorem taxes, they said. So we need to address this. That's all. That's the only report I have.
Thank you. I hope everybody will come out to our bike ride, a community Get in Gear bike ride Saturday. We're going to be welcoming our newest, one of our newest restaurants, Sergio's, and there we'll be hosting one of the stops. I do want to commend the homeowners coalitions for the work that you did to get out and vote. You made your voices speak, whatever it was. So I commend that. I am a little disappointed that we had less than a 10% turnout. And as I said, don't let 12% make the decision for you. So I really wish a lot more people could have come out and spoken for what they wanted. That being said, Mr. Attorney, the issue regarding the absentee ballots, I don't know if that's anything we can address, but it did look a little bit skewed. And other than going to elections, is there anything we can address?
The jurisdiction for that would be the election department. I mean,
Okay.
anyone can make a complaint to the county.
Okay, so if you feel that there's a problem, then a complaint, public records request or something should be made to Elections Department. Thank you.
On the issue of the bond, I own the abject failure of that bond. I voted to put it on the ballot. I voted in favor of it because I recognize a lot of the benefits that could have come from it. There was a family here just a little bit ago, and the affordable housing question is one way that I would have looked to assist them. Shake your head all you want. There are people in this community who need housing, who are in trouble. That right there is repeated up and down 6th Avenue and throughout this city. I wasn't, I'm gonna swallow my pride and swallow my anger. I own the absolute failure, the 75 to 25% failure of every one of those bond questions. I will not, and I made this clear to staff immediately after the failure of those bonds the next morning, I will not support any type of bond coming forward any time, probably within the next 4 or 5 years. Your voice was incredibly clear. There was no neighborhood where these bonds were popular. Rarely does something lose that badly in the city of North Miami. I won't support any future bond things anytime soon. Please, anybody thinking about putting together another bond, I'm not going to be in favor of it. Not even going to be in favor of putting it on the ballot because the voices have been spoken and have been heard by me. That said, I remain incredibly committed to affordable housing in this city. I remain incredibly committed to addressing sea level rise in this city. I get it that there were some things in there that just were not popular, but come hell or high water, we as a community have got to find ways to address the real crises that exist in our city. I am going to continue forward on those paths, short of a bond, to get them done. So thank you for everybody who did come out and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to announce on the 17th, the CRA in my office is doing a workshop which already been full to capacity, but I think the CRA is taking folks who a waiting list. So if anyone would like to apply, please email or call the CRA. This workshop will be held at the Griffin Center. It will be on the 17th. It's listed on the city website. I have no more announcement, but I do want to say something, Mr. Mayor. I've been up here for 3 years. I have never responded directly to a resident, but however, Mr. Livenker, which I know, asked me a question, so I am going to answer him, and this probably will be the last time I will do it very directly. First and foremost, Mr. Livenker, you here with everybody else in this audience. This has nothing to do with the mayor, and this was not a vote against the mayor. And you speak English very clearly. So I don't know if you did not understood what I said and how I said it. The mayor came within a item. I said to the mayor, a resident and several others called me. I said to the mayor, 125th Street, I would prefer it in my district. I would not support that street. However, if you want to do it on West Dixie or any other street in my district, I don't have a problem with it. And everybody here heard that. So once the back and forth started, I left it quietly. The mayor decided, and you were there sitting, looking to go forward with that resolution, which he has the right. I also have the right myself to refuse that. And if you had any other questions, or if you do, my office is open and you have my cell phone or any other thing. It's not that I did not support the mayor resolution. I said that street, I had one resident and I had others who called me. Ms. Brown lived near the street. Ms. Emmanuel is in the back, lived near the street. There are some residents, I did receive some calls regarding that street, and that's my opposition to it. And you probably didn't hear it very clearly, but I just wanted to clarify that. But other than that, I hope everyone a wonderful, wonderful evening.
I understand Miss Baez, Miss Ingrid Baez came a little bit late. Is she still here? Oh, sorry. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything to say?
No report this meeting.
I don't have any reports, Mayor.
No report, sir.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. It's now 8:00.